All right, ladies, I want to do the prep for week 4, and so I just want to encourage you that you now should have your women in their groups, in their small groups, and also you've done a lot of foundation work, and really this is going to be a week when they're going to get to really go into their groups together and get to know each other. This is a big week for them. I'm working on memorizing their first verse. This is a big week for them to really have started to get it and established in their Bible reading time. And so this week you're going to give them time to just kind of breathe, to get into their groups, begin to discuss quiet times, begin to talk about the memory verse they're memorizing, the Bible reading that they're doing. They've now learned how to do soaps, and they're doing 2 soap journaling a week. Hopefully they've practiced the AXO prayer model in their quiet times. And so this week is really going to be about them just figuring all of this out and getting a chance to talk about it. So I want to go over some of the materials and some things that you want to make sure that you have ready to go for week 4. All right, so I'm going to grab the camera here. All right. In your timed outline, you want to go through that and make sure that you kind of know what you're going to be doing this week. When they check in, you're going to give them the accountability sheets, and so this will be the first that they've seen of these. So you're going to give this to them, and this is for them to go through, and then they're going to hand in 1 month. So from the time you hand them out to the end of the month, they're going to have a chance to get all of these things done. And so if you haven't really started prayer meetings, or you haven't started giving opportunity for them to serve in the church or out of the church, you'll want to give them opportunity this month to do that. And then this is 2 forms on 1 page, so you make copies of this and cut it in half and give that to them. Some of my ladies like to have 2, so they could be working on 1 and then have 1 for the next month. So however you want to do that is fine, but we usually hand those out at registration. All right, and then some other things that you want to look at is make sure that you have gotten everyone's discipleship agreement. One of the things that I do is make a copy of those and then hand them back so they're familiar with what they signed. So that's just an optional thing that you can do as well. And then you're going to be handing out week 4 of the lesson, and they'll be ready to put those in their notebook. One of the things this week that you have a little more breathing time, so I would really encourage you to think about looking over the Bible reading and where they're at in their Bible reading, and maybe give some time for discussion about that, the books of the Bible that they're reading, and when they were written and why they were written, and maybe some things that are happening in the Bible reading that people have questions about. You have time to do that. Also, this is their first memory verse, so week 4 gives you a chance also if you want to go over some strategies of memorizing the verse, or to look it over, or I know some of you have come up with some really creative ways to share with your group of little songs or actions or something like that. This week you would have time to go over your first memory verse that way. We want the women to be successful. So successful memorizing their verse, success in establishing a quiet time, success in journaling. So all you're really building some foundations here. And if anybody's struggling in these areas, you want to give them a chance to do that, to talk about that and work through that. So you're going to, as a big group, you're going to talk about quiet times and all those things that we just went over, and then you're going to break into small groups. You want to give them time in their small groups this week, more time than they've had. So I would say, probably the first 25-30 minutes you'd be in large group, and then after that let them take an hour or so in their small group if you're doing the 90 minutes. All right. And so one of the things, this is week 4, but you're going to go over week 3 homework, and it really talks about establishing their quiet time. And so give them a chance to go over those homework questions and they talk about when is it, where is it, are they starting with prayer, what are they finding most difficult, and just really pray with them in that. Times. And then also we will have done soap journaling, so you'll want to take time to let them share, at least a couple of them share about their soap journaling this week as well. Also, you'll have the getting to know you sheets copied, so you can hand those out to them if you didn't do that last week. All right, so week 4 isn't a hard week, but it will give you a chance to go over it. So just review your timed outline, review the leader's guide for week 4, and give the ladies a time in their small groups to get to know each other. And also, again, the accountability sheet is another piece that you'll want to make sure that they have in their hands so they can start filling those out as they serve as well. All right, you're going to have a good week. Praying for you ladies on week 4.